Automatic music transcription has made massive strides in recent years. We've gone from systems that could barely handle solo piano to models that can attempt full multi-track transcription. But there's a glaring hole in the landscape. We can transcribe solo piano with high accuracy. We can transcribe synthetic pop generated from MIDI. But transcribe a real, commercially produced pop track with full multi-track note-level accuracy. That remains a nightmare. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University have just addressed this gap with a new dataset called MulTTiPop. Today, we're going to break down exactly what this dataset is, the complex methodology they use to align commercial audio with multi-track MIDI, and why state-of-the-art models are still struggling to make sense of pop music. The problem starts with data. Current AMT models are bottlenecked by a lack of evaluation benchmarks for real-world pop. Datasets like MAESTRO and MusicNet are fantastic, but they focus on solo piano and classical music. Slakh2100 gives us multi-track MIDI, but the audio is synthesized, which means it lacks the timbral complexity and production artifacts of real recordings. TheoryTab has commercial audio, but only provides weak melody and chord annotations, not full multi-track transcriptions. And MulTTiPop, while containing pop music, has limited genre diversity and uses songs composed specifically for the dataset rather than real-world hits. MulTTiPop fills this void. It contains 572 segments of popular music, totaling 3.5 hours of audio, paired with ground truth, time-aligned multi-track MIDI. The songs span from the 1930s to the 2000s, covering diverse genres from rock and Motown to new wave. The goal is to provide a representative sample of the use cases researchers actually care about, transcribing commercially produced tracks. So how do you build a dataset that pairs commercial audio with accurate multi-track MIDI? You can't just download MIDI from a streaming service. The authors had to engineer a pipeline to match, align, and verify the data. The process begins with metadata matching. They sourced audio segments from TheoryTab, which includes YouTube video IDs and user-provided chord annotations. They paired this with the Lock MIDI dataset, specifically the LMD-matched subset, which contains multi-track MIDI and metadata from the million-song dataset. To find matches, they calculated the Levenshtein distance between the artist and title metadata using rapid fuzz. They filtered for near-identical matches, narrowing down 25,000 potential segments to about 1,164 candidate pairs. But matching the metadata is only the first step. Even if you have the right MIDI file, the timing rarely aligns perfectly with the audio. MIDI files are defined by strict, rigid beat grids, while real recordings often have tempo fluctuations, rubato, and production variations. To solve this, the team developed a beat-based alignment strategy. For each audio segment, they extracted the beat grid using an RNN-based beat tracker from the madmom library. They added half a second of padding on either side of the segment to give the tracker proper acoustic context. Then they compared the audio beats to the MIDI beats. Since the MIDI contains the full song and the audio is just a segment, the MIDI usually has many more beats. To align them, they defined an anchor beat. This is a specific beat in the MIDI that corresponds to the first beat of the audio segment. Once you have that anchor, you can generate a time alignment by performing linear interpolation on the note timings within the MIDI, warping the MIDI to match the tempo and timing of the audio. The tricky part is finding the correct anchor beat. The MIDI might start at the intro, the chorus, or the verse, and the audio segment might start anywhere. The authors tried several algorithmic approaches to identify the anchor. The baseline metric used chroma cosine similarity between the audio and MIDI to detect harmonic matches, combined with Pearson correlation between onset envelopes to capture rhythmic attack density. But they found this alone was unreliable, succeeding only about 2.3% of the time. To improve this, they incorporated melody annotations from TheoryTab. They computed the chroma cosine between the user-provided melody and each instrument part in the MIDI. Since melodies are often unique to specific sections of a song, this helped pinpoint the correct start time much better, boosting success to 31.7%. They also used the YouTube video timing. By taking the start time of the TheoryTab segment and mapping it to the full MIDI file, they could filter the candidate anchors to a smaller set, increasing success to 40% when combined with melody matching. However, even with these methods, the success rate capped at 40%. In over half the cases, no candidate anchor produced a valid alignment. This led to the final crucial step, human annotation. The team employed 6 annotators who reviewed the candidates. They were given the original audio, a piano roll visualization, and a synthesized version of the MIDI for each candidate. They had to select the alignment that best matched the audio. This manual review was essential for quality control, though it highlighted that alignment is a non-trivial problem. In the failure cases, about 12% were due to incorrect metadata matches, while the rest were due to tempo mismatches or the audio being from a different arrangement, like a music video, which broke the assumption that the MIDI structure matched the audio. The result is a dataset split into development and test sets, stratified by artist, so no artist appears in both. It contains 572 segments averaging 22 seconds each, with about 583 MIDI notes per segment. Now, what happens when we throw state-of-the-art AMT models at MulTTiPop? The authors evaluated MT3 and YourMT3+, 2 high-performing open-weight models. They measured performance using onset F1 with a standard 50 millisecond tolerance, testing both exact instrument matching and a reduced harmonic percussive space. The results are sobering. The best model achieved an onset F1 of only 38%. This is a massive drop compared to performance on benchmarks like MusicNet or GuitarSet. MT3 scored around 28% exact F1, while your MT3 Plus scored 37% in the harmonic percussive space. Why is performance so low? The authors hypothesize that this is due to a domain shift. Both models were trained on MulTTiPop using Slakh2100, which is synthetic audio. The models haven't learned to handle the timbral and production complexity of real commercial recordings. Your MT3 Plus does show some improvement in tracking vocal lines, but it has a quirk. It tends to assign a saxophone instrument program to vocal lines. This means the notes are often correct, but the instrument label is wrong, which hurts the exact matching metrics. Qualitatively, the models struggle with texturally dense music. MT3 often latches onto one or two instrument lines and drops others, leading to disjointed transcriptions. Your MT3 Plus is more consistent, but misses instrument parts and simplifies rhythms. There are important recommendations for using MulTTiPop. First, it is strictly an evaluation dataset. The authors do not recommend using it for training models, both due to the small size and the copyright status of the commercial audio. Second, the dataset has a strong Western bias. The songs are derived from hook theory, which has a primarily American user base, and the transcriptions are based on Western harmony. Results on MulTTiPop should be viewed as a reflection of performance on the Western popular music canon, not global music as a whole. MulTTiPop is a wake-up call for the AMT community. It proves that while we've made great progress on piano and synthetic data, real-world multitrack transcription is still in its infancy. The gap between synthetic and commercial audio is real, and models need to evolve to bridge it. If you're interested in the dataset, you can find the audio samples, MIDI files, and metadata at the link in the description. The team has also released the transcriptions from MT3 and your MT3 Plus on their web preview, so you can hear exactly where these models succeed and fail. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown useful, check out the linked paper for the full methodology and results. Keep pushing the boundaries of audio AI, and I'll see you in the next one.